Good evening, vinyl community. Curtis Young coming at you on a Monday night. Yeah, it's a holiday Monday here in Nova Scotia. Uh, so it's nice to have a long weekend after our big dig out. We've had two big snowstorms, so I've been digging out. I might do a video on that just to kind of show some of that. But I want to come on tonight and do a contest entry. Check this new microphone out. I don't know. I just recorded a little bit with it down here, and it sounded like I was talking into a tin can. It was worse than my iPhone mic. So it sounded best up here. I don't know. I'll give it a couple videos and see if it works. Anyway, so contest entry, yeah. It's going to be a contest entry for Vinyl Martini, a new channel for me in the last little bit. Um, a fellow Canadian, out on the left coast, out in, I want to say Vancouver, maybe Victoria, somewhere out in BC. Um, I'm out here on the East Coast. Yeah, and he wants us to do a couple things. He wants us to share a couple channels and show a discography of an artist. And he's going to give $100 to a charity of our choice for the winner, which I thought was pretty cool. There's a lot of people hurting around here, and I think mine will go to Feed Nova Scotia if I was to win, or there's a new food bank opening in the area, and if they have an online donation platform, I'd probably support them. So let's do the shout outs first. So many good channels I want to shout out, but if I have to do two, I'm going to go with uh, Stack's channel for my first one. It's a brand new channel. He just started about a month ago during the vinyl tag. He's put out quite a few videos already, and I really like his enthusiasm. You know, he's just getting into it. His channel is, I think, sub 100 subs. So, uh, you know, his musical taste, I think he likes a lot of synth pop, uh, stuff that I'm not really familiar with, right? And that's what I love about the vinyl community is learning about new music. He talks about like some video game music, which is completely new to me. So, yeah, get over there and check out Stack's channel. Has nothing to do with the record label, by the way, Stack's. But great, great channel. I've been enjoying watching the content. The other channel I want to shout out is Tokyo Record Style. Brian over at Tokyo Record Style. So uh, really cool channel, man. He's over in Tokyo. He's an American, an expat. He's an artist, right? And he's a photographer, I guess. And he goes out on the streets of Tokyo and looks out for people carrying record bags and interviews them on the street, gets them to see what their story is, right? What are they picking up? And writes like kind of a little blog about it. So it's really cool stuff, and he's got interesting ideas, and I've been really enjoying it. I've signed up for his newsletter, so I get the updates every month, and yeah, just a really cool channel. So check out that. And I'm actually going to sneak in one more. I'm going to give a quick shout out to Joe over at Racer Records, the fastest rising channel in the VCA. I like to think, but a video a day, I think Joe does, right? Good stuff. So shout out to Joe too. So I'll link all three of those in the where links go, as Joe would say. All right. The I don't have a lot of discographies for artists. Of course, I've got my Bob Marley discography, and I did a big long video on that. So if you're in for a long, detailed video, go check that one out. But I'm warning you, got to be in the mood. Um but today we're going to keep it nice and concise, I hope. And we're going to look at a Canadian band. And for any Canadians, this band doesn't need any introduction. Yeah, in fact, they are the Canadian ambassador for Record Store Day this year. But for anyone outside of Canada, they probably do need a bit of introduction. So the band I'm talking about is the Tragically Hip. Uh, they were active from about mid 80s till the 20 teens. Um, and yeah, they're a five-piece rock band. I've heard them compared to bands like REM. I've heard Tom Petty, heard Bruce Springsteen, but maybe it's the songwriting. There's some good stories and like kind of more poetic kind of stuff. I think at times. We're listening to them here in the background, so if you want to get a feel for what they sound like, uh, I can be quiet a minute. Anyway, this is the greatest hits. Um, yeah, let's just get into it. Let's get into it. So I only have they have about 13 studio albums. I have about half of them, so that's what we're going to look at today. All right, so this is their first album, their debut. Oh, and I'm going to show CDs. Uh, I only have one of their albums on vinyl. It's the '90s, right? It's the CD era, so they're a CD band to me. Although more of their stuff has been released in vinyl in recent years with the vinyl resurgence, so you can get more of this on vinyl now than you could even 5 years ago. Yeah, so Up to Here is their first album. There was an EP before this. I don't have it. What are the standout tracks here for me? You've got Blowin' High Dough. Great track, first song opening an album, right? First track, first album. Great one. Uh, New Orleans is Sinkin's a great song. 38 Years Old. Never Kissed a Girl. Trickle Down's a good one. Really strong opening album. In fact, most of these albums in Canada went to number one, number two, number three on the charts, but they didn't have very much success south of the border or internationally. And I'm not really sure why that was. I know other people probably do, but I'm not really sure. I never really got into why. I just enjoyed what I had. Second album is Road Apples. And like the first album, it's a bit bluesy. Yeah? There's a bit of a blues tinge. There's a couple of songs that kind of even have a Doris feel to me on it, right? Standout track to me is probably the least rocking track of all on this one, called Fiddler's Green. The opening track, Little Bones, is a great track as well. Um, this, if I understand right, they released an EP that was tracks. They were going to make this a double album, I guess, but the label didn't want them to, or something like that. So they released an EP just like last year, or maybe 2 years ago, with the other songs that were going to make up part of this double album. Yeah, so it's Road Apples. We then get into Fully Completely, which is probably their biggest selling album, I think. Just speculating here, but I would think that would be right. So the first one came out in 89. Then we had 91. And this, I'm guessing, was 93. I'm not entirely sure, though. I can't see the year on it. Yeah, now this one, I think they take a bit of a more edgy approach. Yeah, a little less bluesy, a little bit more edgy, I would say. And I just love that cover art. And this is the one I have on vinyl. So, so I did get some vinyl in here, Vinyl Martini. So I hope that counts, right? All right. So what tracks are on? Oh, actually, this is a double set, and there is a live at the Horseshoe Tavern on here as well from '93. Yeah, 92. Sorry, so this was '92. Yeah, what tracks are on here? Oh, sorry, that's what I was going to say. The one that's coming out for Record Day Store, I expect to be kind of similar to this. It's live at CBGB, and it's tracks from this album only. So I'm expecting it to be similar. I'll probably pick it up if I can get a copy of it. We got At the 100th Meridian, great tune on here. Wheat Kings is also a good tune. The title track, Fully Completely. Um, 50 Mission Cop. That's a great one because that's the lyrics are taken off the back of a hockey card. Can't get much more Canadian than that, right? And I think kind of speaks to like a lot of their songs have, Canadian places or Canadian themes, and I think that's part of the reason they resonated so much here in Canada. Um, and they were just a hard-working touring band, right? They were on the road a lot in the early years, touring coast to coast and putting in the hard work. All right, so then we go to '94, and we've got Day for Night, Day for Night, and this is a little bit darker. There's kind of some like kind of menacing grooves on here, I think, and you can see that in the artwork as well for the album. It's standout tracks on here. Grace 2, I think we heard that already playing in the background. Nautical Disaster is a good song. Um, yeah. Then we're going to go into 96, and we have Trouble at the Hen House. Trouble at the Hen House. We've got Ahead by a Century being the standout track on here. Butts Wiggling. I like that track as well, actually. Gift Shop, Springtime in Vienna. A few that I recognize that aren't jumping out at me as memorable. And then we had their first live album. I think they released 2 live albums during their initial run. So this is 97. We've got Grace 2, Fully Completely, Springtime in Vienna, Twist My Arm, Gift Shop, Ahead by a Century, The Luxury, Courage, New Orleans is Sinking, and I Don't Want to Swim. Don't Wake Daddy, Scared, Blowing High Dough, Natural Disaster, and The Wherewithal. I'm not sure where this was recorded. I don't recall. Next, we have in 98, we have Phantom Power. Lots of audio dials and audio equipment down here. Standout track for me on this was Poets. Poets on this one, and there was one other. What was the other? Oh, Bob Cajun. Bob Cajun was the other track on here. So that's Phantom Power. And then up to 2000 now, and this would have been around the time that I saw them. I saw them at a Canada Day show in Halifax on Citadel Hill, outdoor show, great show. This is Music at Work, and the title track, My Music at Work, I think was the biggest hit off of this one. Yeah, there we are. And that's all of their studio albums I have. Well, one live album. Then I have their greatest hits, Ye Favorites. It's a 2 LP set. The case has seen better days. It's pretty trashed up here. That's what I hated about CDs. My cases always seem to get. Oh, I guess I was pretty hard on them. Anyway, so that's they put out a second volume of this. And again, I think it was only maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Well, time keeps on slipping. Into the future. So there's that, and I'll have one more thing to show, and that's a DVD. Actually, a Blu-ray. This is their farewell tour. Did I mention that? Maybe I didn't even mention that the lead singer here, Gordon Downey, was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. And so they decided that this would be their last show, and Dave Gord was going to focus on his health and essentially preparing for death of his terminal illness. Yeah, and this was their last show, and it was really, really touching, really, really moving. And yeah, I ordered it on Blu-ray first, but I didn't have a Blu-ray player. I didn't mean to order it on Blu-ray. I didn't realize I ordered it online. So then I ordered the DVD. So now I have one of each. And I've since gotten a Blu-ray player. Thank you, Sean. My buddy Sean gave me his old Blu-ray player, so that's pretty cool. It's a great show. Actually, it was their last show. They finished up in Kingston, their hometown. And I was actually in Kingston that night for a wedding. I didn't go to the show because I was at the wedding reception. Check out Mike's videos on wedding receptions, like a contest. I think it's over. It is over now. Anyway, so I didn't get to see the show, but to give you an idea of how beloved these guys are, 1 in 3 Canadians tuned into the live broadcast of this show. So if there's any Canadians out there watching, let me know. Did you tune in? Are you 1 in 3? I was not. I was at the wedding, cutting a rug, no doubt. Yeah, so that's it. That's my discography on the Tragically Hip, or half of their discography. Good thing about it, that you can get them pretty cheap because they were so abundant in Canada. So they'll pop up on my screen. There we go. Yeah, so go check out those channels I mentioned. Vinyl Martini, who's running the contest. Thank you, Vinyl Martini, for the inspiration here. You've got Kyle over at Stack's channel, Brian at Tokyo Record Style. Check those guys out. Yeah, so that's it. Peace.